Feuding Bros, welcome back. And today we're talking about the FA Cup semi-finals that just happened. Well, happened a couple of days ago. And yes, let's dive in. We have our two finalists, Man City v Crystal Palace. I mean, Man City is not real. It's not a real surprise. It might be since they've had a crazy season, a very bad season. But I mean, they made it to a final, and they're in contention to win a trophy, and which is going to be good. But the main surprise here is obviously Crystal Palace, who made it all the way through the final and in emphatic style as well by destroying Aston Villa 3-0. Yep. What a performance! What a performance, man!
That was a huge surprise to me. I did not expect them to just leveled Villa, man. Like, I could not see Villa had no life in that game, you know. Mateta came in and did his thing, man. Crystal Palace, that's a great way to end your season. The way they're doing it with Glasner at the moment, throughout the league, and now with the FA Cup reaching the final. You could say it's deserved. You can say that. If you look at Aston Villa and their effort over the last couple of years, you will say, okay, yeah, they deserve it more, the trophy under the belt. But, you know, when it matters, they couldn't pull it through. Crystal Palace came in, destroyed Aston Villa, and now they're in the final now. What's the chances of winning that final? That's the thing, because it's always like this, you know, with the smaller teams, they have a great story, they make it all the way, and then they face a bigger team who, not that they let's say they deserve it more, or like they earned it more, but it's like they also have something to play for. So that's what Crystal Palace is facing right now. They're facing a team that has to save their season with this trophy. And they just need a trophy, like they want to win something. So it's kind of there's something at stake there. It's not an odd final. Should be interesting. I really just hope it's not a done game after 30 minutes, right? I really think Glasner is gonna pull up something that's gonna make the game at least a contest. So that's really my hope there. But I want Palace to win, man. I want Palace to win, like no matter what.
I think most neutrals would be behind Palace, unless maybe you're a Brighton fan. But apart from Brighton fans, I think most people would be rooting for Palace in the final. Yeah, but Thierry.
Yeah, man. I was very surprised with this one, man. I thought Aston Villa would go for this. And win it after, especially the performance against PSG. So I was really expecting them to kick on. I was very disappointed with them. I was disappointed with them against Man City as well earlier, a few days earlier. This just, when I saw the lineup, I was just like, it just didn't really make too much sense to me. They had no runners at all. McGinn, you have McGinn, Morgan, and
what is the obsession? What is the obsession of Emery with McGinn? I don't see it.
You don't like him? I feel he's a steady player. I think
but there's better players. Is he a bowler?
I think he's a good player. I think the thing with
McGinn, player, but I mean, there's better players on the bench.
I think the thing is with McGinn, he's kind of like that James Milner. If you remember Milner at City, there's better players on the bench, but like he does the job. He does the dirty job.
That's the thing. He's a grafter,
exactly.
Like everywhere.
Exactly, he's everywhere. He's tackling, and he seems to be like the leader of the team as well. So he's kind of like the Jordan Henderson, the James Milner of the team. In that sense, where I agree with you, they do have more talented players on the bench, but I feel like he does the job, man. I feel like he really balances the team out, but it just didn't make sense in this like like, why would you have all these guys that they all want to come to the ball, and like when you have runners, when you have Bailey on the bench, you have Malen on the bench, like can take people on and
he's done Bailey dirty this season. Like I don't get why.
Yeah, he doesn't like Bailey this season. I'm surprised he didn't leave. But when those guys came on, he made a difference. But I mean, going to Crystal Palace, I mean, they've especially lately, they've really performed well. And Glasner has been very, very good for Crystal Palace. I looked him up, and he won the Europa League like 2 or 3 years ago with Frankfurt. So like I didn't know him at all, but it seems like he's got a good record.
That's news to me.
Yeah. So it seems like he's had a good record for at least a little bit now. And yeah, he's done well since he's come to Palace, man. They started the season really rough, but they're really ending it well, and that would be massive for them. That would be so massive. I think it will be their first trophy ever, right? If I'm not mistaken, in their history.
Pretty much,
yeah. And I mean, that game, the final, for me, it's like 50-50, honestly, because I don't trust City at all. I don't trust. I don't know if you saw that Forest game. I mean, they deserve winners, but Forest like really dropped the ball on this one. Why do you not start Elanga? I mean, we'll talk about it later, but I think Crystal Palace is probably the perfect team for a City, because they will sit deep and they have so much pace on the counter, and this big guy up top, Mateta, is just clinical. As to add some guile, to add some finesse, some flair.
This guy's a guy, man. I mean, he plays the game different, man. He's different.
He plays it different.
Yes.
Different.
And
I hope somebody is gonna come and get him, but I know they're gonna put a stupid price tag on him to force him to stay. But I just want to see him at a better club. This guy I think he's so good. I just think he's so good. He plays the game at a different speed, like to everybody else.
He plays his own game, like
he plays his own game, man. Like sometimes he just decides to take the ball and he's like, nobody's gonna get the ball from me.
Yeah.
He just dances around. He just dances around and passes it.
Yeah,
man. Yeah,
it's something else. So it's gonna be a great final, I think, and I think they'll give City a game. Like you said, we hope they're not just gonna come. I think that's what maybe killed Forest as well, considering that early goal. So I hope they don't consider the stupid early goal, which will kind of kill their game plan, because it will obviously be to sit and counter. But if not, I think this is gonna be a very 50-50 game in the final.
Yeah, I think they'll be very motivated for it. I mean, it's a final there. I mean, how many times you get to the final, and if they do go down, they're gonna go down fighting. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. They're not gonna get pasted. I don't think. I think City, if they are to win it, they're gonna have to work hard at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, this game, I mean, we spoke about Eze, man, but just where was Villa? I thought this game was perfect for Villa. Villa perfect for them. To get to a final, and for Emery to confirm his greatness. But I mean, I've seen this argument. I've seen this argument about Emery, and I just wanted to put it to you as well, like. Whenever
we just in the guy, man.
He has so much hate for this guy. It's like Emery owes him
it's
money.
It's not Emery hating. I don't care about the guy.
How much money does he owe
you? It's not Emery bashing. I'm just saying, because we've had this debate here so many times. I've seen the argument, and obviously I agreed with the argument, right? So I just wanted to put it to you to see. This Emery guy is a fraud, right? No, I'm just joking. No, but listen to me.
Oh my gosh.
whenever there is a situation where he's under pressure, the guy fails. And again, in this pressure situation, he did not perform. What does it say about him? Yes, we're going to talk about his Europa Leagues. Yeah, he was in a league where, you know, he was never great in any leagues apart from when he went to PSG. And I think what was his record at PSG? I think he was the only manager at PSG that didn't do something or something. I can't remember.
No, that was Tuchel. Was it not Tuchel that didn't win?
No,
it was Tuchel. No, Pochettino that didn't win.
And him too. Pochettino? I think him too. He didn't win.
He won. I think he won every time.
But we'll have to check on that.
Yeah,
but I mean, he won the league. I mean, you know, PSG league is your nitty gritty. You win that with your eyes closed, right? Mm-hmm. But this guy, whenever he's gone into a big team, is not performed. Is not performed, and his league finishes are testament of that. This guy had all the players this time around. You can't say that this squad was thin. Guy bought how many players in January to come and strengthen the squad for all this thing, and you still did not make it. I mean, I'm not gonna talk about PSG, right? Because you are the underdog there. Anything you get there is just amazing. It's phenomenal. So and you actually did your best. But this game is for me a testament of his limitations. The guy's limited, man. You guys need to realize. But let me hear you guys.
I mean, if he's limited because of that, then what is Arteta then? Because it's the same argument for Arteta.
It's not the same argument because he's got how many years? This is
why, like, you guys with this. Oh, he doesn't have. He's been manager for 6 years. Like, how much? Like, is it the way? Does he have to be 2 years of management?
Listen,
criticize him.
He's been manager for 6 years. Well, first of all, it's the first job, right? Emery had many jobs. Emery had many jobs. Let me tell you. Let me just listen to me because I've said this. I've said this to you last time as well. Emery had many jobs. This guy had many jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Many jobs. Yeah. If he was this great, why has he ended up where he is? That's one. And two, you have the opportunity here in the cup, in the FA Cup, to get to at least a final. I mean, if you got to the final and then you lost to City, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh, City and all that." Blah blah blah. Blah. Mm-hmm. But this, you have to and. Look at even yourself. You said look at his starting lineup. What was that? Yeah. You know, where's Onana? Where's Onana?
I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, you know, so his tactics were kind of wrong, and it's the same thing when he was at Arsenal and we went to the Europa League. He put out a starting 11. Everybody was like, "What the hell is he doing?" So whenever it actually matters, this guy has more often than not failed.
Okay, let me say so before Freddie. I know Freddie wants to interject. I think we need to as well contextualize. If we're gonna say, "Oh, he's had many jobs," yeah, because he had to start from the bottom. He wasn't a good ex-player. Arteta is where he is because he was a good player, a good football player. I'm not
comparing Arteta with Emery. Let's talk about Emery. Let's talk
about Emery. Let's talk about Emery. Yeah,
that debate with Arteta.
Yes, he like many other managers out there had to start from the bottom. So he had to start on terrible teams and build up his CV to where he is now. So he's been at a lot of, let's say, top 10 teams or teams that mainly focus on getting into Europe and having cup runs if they can. And that's what he's done. He's got teams into Europe. He's had cup runs. He's won a lot of cups, done better than most managers that are in those situations. And
his record in the Champions League is poor.
Because he's been to a semi-final in the Champions League with Villarreal. Arteta's been at Arsenal how many years? This is his first semi-final. let's just to give a comparison to managers that have had big teams and not been able to do what Emery's done with smaller teams. He's been at one team that could win a title, and he won the title with them. When he went to Arsenal, they were not in a position to do anything. And I think the only difference between him and Arteta right now is context. He came after Wenger. There was so much fan
anger. You keep comparing him to Arteta. I mean, that's
the debate.
This Arteta talk for me, like, is
that's the debate.
I mean,
we cannot when we talk about Emery, we cannot separate those two.
Why not?
Like, because if you talk objectively about Emery, he's a good manager. You cannot say he's not a good manager.
I'm saying he's a decent manager, but he's never going to be classed as a top manager. That's what I'm saying.
Never. He's never going to be classed as a top
never
manager.
Going to be top as a top manager.
I think right now he's classed. I think the general consensus is that Emery is a top manager right now.
No, it's not. It's not.
So on what basis? He's won trophies. He's won leagues.
He's won leagues.
Well, he's won one league. He's won
one league that anybody can win. Even Pochettino won that league. Come on, man.
He didn't win it, actually. He didn't win it his first year.
But he won it.
Yeah. And there's been managers
that league anybody can win. Like, don't talk to me about League 1, man.
Come on, but he won that, and he won the league, and he's won Europa League. He's been to a Champions League semi-final. How many managers have his record? How many managers have won trophies? Like we talking about how many managers have won trophies?
I think Fred is blocked, right? I don't know if he's.
I think he's a bit.
But I'm not contesting his record in the Europa League, which is a secondary tournament, right? I'm saying when it matters in the big games, in the big tournaments, this guy has always failed. Prove me wrong.
But how can you say that when he's won trophies? Like when it shows that when he's mattered, he's won trophies.
But it's like saying, okay, well, if you in the championship, right, and you win the Champions League, you win the Champions League, the championship trophy, right? And then you come on and then get relegated again. Are you a good manager? Or a lot of managers just get sacked just for that. You know what I mean? So it's just a level. You're giving an example. So that's what I'm saying. You're just proving my point. He's good at that level. Is that level below that way he's good at? But when
that doesn't make sense in this example, though, because you just gave an example of him not winning a cup when he's won a cup that's bigger than this cup. Right?
Which cup?
Europa League is bigger than FA Cup. I think we can agree to that.
He's won 4 Europas.
No, but I'm saying it's a level below. It's a level below. Is it a level below? Yes or no? That's why
it's a level below. Yes, it's a level below Champions League. But he's been in those situations where he had to win Europa League. He had to win semi-finals. He had to win finals.
Is Europa League,
and he won them.
But if you win Europa League every year, and when you get to the Champions League, you don't do anything, would you be classed as a great manager?
He's been to a semi-final. Does he have to win the champ? So you have to win the Champions League to be a top manager?
Not. But you have to perform. You have to perform.
He's performed more than most managers. He's been to a semi-final. How many managers have been to a
semi-final? One semi-final, and how many times has he been in the Champions League with big teams? He went in there with Valencia. He went in there with Sevilla. Sevilla was dominated. I think he won 3 in a row with Sevilla. When he gets into the Champions League, 0 out of a group stage.
So what was he supposed to do with Sevilla in the Champions League? Win it?
Take him a little bit further. Take him a little bit further.
I don't think that works.
If you're a great manager,
I think that's a tough one.
But you build on the foundation that you've done, right? You've won the Europa League. Now you're in the Big Boys League, right? Show us that you're a good manager. Show us that you're not limited to the Europa League. Show us that in the Champions League, you can actually go somewhere. I'm not asking you to win it. I'm not asking you to win it, but at least go somewhere. But don't just.
But if you went to a semi-final with a team like Villarreal, that's not considered a success.
It was a success that year, but how long ago was it? That's one. How long ago was it? And then how we can say that the semi-final with Villarreal, that's the outliner compared to his record in the Champions League. It's the outline.
With these teams, how many managers are managing the teams, the level of teams he's managed in the Champions Leagues, and are regularly getting to quarterfinals and semi?
Exactly.
There's not many. There's not many.
But well,
it's very rare. I mean, name another manager.
Sevilla is a big club. Sevilla is a big club.
Oh, come on. Like, we're talking about Champions League level. Like, come on.
Champions League, but that's what I'm saying. You've built something, right? You've made this team great in the Europa League. So that's what I'm saying. You cannot go. That's why for me, we'll get Freddie in on this one because he's been listening. But that's why for me is never going to be classed as a great, because there is a level where that's his limit, and he cannot go beyond that. That's my point. Because if you can win all the Europa League you want, but if you get into the Champions League and you don't have a decent record in the Champions League, you're gonna say semi-final once, okay? But there's no in the Champions League. You have to be there, and you have to actually, for me, compete in the Champions League. You don't. So that means your level. It's like for example, Leeds, right? Whenever they're in the Champions League, they'll win the league. I'm just saying something just random, right? Whenever they're in the Champions League, they win the league. In the Championship, sorry, they win the league. They win the league. As soon as they get in the Premier League, they get relegated. But they win the league in the Championship. When they get up, so that means their level is right there. They're good here. They can win whatever they want here. But when you get to the big boy league, you cannot hack it. That's my point.
But
Freddie,
my thing with that is, was he equipped to go far? Was he equipped to win things with this team?
Only at PSG.
And that goes along with your that goes along with your example. If Leeds comes from the Championship and they come to the Prem, and all of a sudden they have 10 new players that cost 100 million each, they're gonna have a chance. They're gonna stay. So I feel like he has not been given all the resources up until now. I mean, we can take PSG as an exception for it's all way to here until now, right? PSG is like the one big team he's had. Obviously, there was Arsenal, but Arsenal was not at his best. I think the PSG team that he got was better than the Arsenal team that he got. That's my opinion. Now, he's with Villa. For me, I think it's just too early to judge him. I think that's all he is. He's with Villa now. He's done a good job with Villa. He's come to a point where, okay, now it takes more than just what I've been doing to get past this level, right? He's going to take a whole lot more if I want to, let's say, put Villa in the top 4 even next season. That's already a big ask, right? Because he did it last season. Can he do it again? That's one. And on top of that, can he win anything in the process? That's going to be the second thing. So his biggest test is going to be for me next year, because now they're starting to trust him. Now they're starting to really equip him. Now they're like, okay, what do you want? We're going to go get him. You want Rashford, a problematic player? You sure? Okay, we got him. They brought him in. He's making him play well, Things like that. I think with time, he's going to be more and more trusted, and he's going to show really his true colors. But for now, I can't excuse, though, what happened this weekend.
Yeah, that was a failure.
I can't excuse that. For me, I was really disappointed. I've been disappointed with them for a bit. For this season, I've been disappointed with them. I thought they will do better than they have, especially after the winter window. There's not really, honestly, there's not much excuse we can give him based on everything you're saying. It seems like he's crashed.
So on what you just said, what do you think he can achieve at Villa?
I think he can. I think it can, and if we're gonna have to take this year by year.
Let me just give you something. Because if Glasner wins the FA Cup, that looks bad on him. Is that fair?
I mean, it looks bad on a lot of other people.
Yeah, it looks bad on
if you're talking about him and where he wants to go, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It does.
No, it does. Yeah, you can say it does. Yeah, like you said.
He missed out. Big time. I really think he missed out, because they would have had a great chance against City as well. So I'm disappointed for him, man. Honestly, he's a guy. I like Emery. I like his style. I like his pragmatism. He's just in the shadows doing his thing, and success comes along. But
yeah, I don't hate Emery. I do not hate Emery. I'm just putting him where he's at.
Where is that? I think because you've had him.
I think there's some bias there because you've had him.
I think because you had him, like there is like a little bit of whatever.
And tactically, he was poor. Tactically, he was poor. Arsenal. He
had a poor time at Arsenal.
You came to a big club like Arsenal, and we were expecting a little bit more. But yeah, people are gonna say he didn't have time. He only had one season. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, but that season didn't show us anything.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, let's say you put Arteta in his place. If you had switched them around the order, I think the same thing would have happened to Arteta based on how Arteta started his life at Arsenal.
What do you mean? I don't
like he would have been your Emery right now if Arteta had replaced Wenger. Like, the only difference between them is time. So maybe with time, Emery could have turned it around as well.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe if he was Arteta back then, he would have been sacked after his first year, especially with the first year that Arteta had. Right? Mm-hmm. That's fair. You can say that, but I'm not comparing Emery with Arteta right now. What I'm saying is, Emery has got his limits. I've seen it firsthand, and I'm seeing it again. This guy was great. He's a great manager. There's some people that have levels where they excel at, and they cannot go beyond that. And I think that's where he's at, and he hasn't proven anything else.
What would prove that with him being at Villa right now? What would prove that? So he has to. What does he have to do to prove that he
an FA Cup?
Yeah, an FA Cup. So let's say they go.
The season is not. The season is not over yet, and
they might finish top.
He can still get there. So he has to go back to the Champions League for me, because this season would have been a disaster compared to last season, where the expectation is more, and you can't say that he wasn't back because he has been back. So for me, you need to get back in the Champions League.
Yeah,
and you need to, next year, if you are in there, have a good run again in the Champions League. I'm not saying go to the quarterfinals and all that, but at least get out of the group stage again like this year, and which is easier for me than it used to be, because you have to be the top however many. Even if you're below the top 8, you still have to go and play playoffs, and then you can get a small team. So it's easier to qualify for the next phase in the Champions League group for me right now, but it makes it more exciting. But you have to go domestically. You have to have a good run at getting the cup. For me, with all the money that you're getting, all the backing that you're getting, when you get back like that, now you have to prove that you are that manager that can take the team so far, right? And making decisions like you did in a semi-final of the FA Cup, when you know it's basically your last thing it's the last thing that you're playing for, like, to get a trophy. You can't. It
was poor, honestly. That was poor, man.
I think his decisions this year have been pretty poor, basically throughout the year in the league. He's had some good moments, but he's had some pretty bad moments as well.
When it's been bad, it was really bad. When it's been bad, it's been bad.
Like, I want to say something quickly on the context of this season as well. A team like Villa getting in the Champions League, you don't see them usually like getting in the Champions League that next year. We've seen that happen so many times. A team like Villa getting in the Champions League, usually that next year, the following season, when they are in the Champions League, they fall off drastically. Newcastle recently. There's been so many. Leicester, they didn't got relegated that next season. There's been so many examples.
But that was true for them last year because they didn't have the squad, right? That was true for them last year.
Yeah, okay, you can say that. Yes, they did give him a bigger squad, but I'm just giving a context to a team like Villa, because even with this squad, it's still not like Liverpool or Man City or whatever. Yes, we can say they've got a much better squad for sure, but for a team like Villa, their context, getting the Champions League and being able to get in, if they do get in the Champions League in the second year, that's a big thing. Now, if they had gotten in the FA Cup final, blah, 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 that would have been even bigger. But you're saying like, oh, he needs to get in the Champions League and win a cup, basically. Yeah. Right? For us to say, oh, he's a top manager. And I'm saying he's done that before. Like, he's done that so many times.
He's done that.
Why is it different this time than other times?
Let me tell you why it's different. Yeah, I think you're not getting it, but let me tell you why it's different. It's different because you're gonna talk to me about his record, right? He's reached that limit. It's not the top level where he's at.
So he needs to win something new then, not something he's won.
No, he needs to win something, but he needs to be at the bigger table. He has to eat at the bigger table because
it's either a Premier League.
His record at PSG, for example. The reason why they didn't carry on with him, if he was that great,
it was because of Champions League.
He won the league.
Champions League.
Yeah, and you get hired at PSG to win the Champions League, or at least to go very far. And listen, it's the same at Bayern as well. You get hired there you don't get hired to win the league. That's already a given, right? But Champions League at PSG in 2 years, you go quarterfinals, you get knocked out in quarterfinals, and second year you get knocked out in last 16. So
many managers failed that.
Yeah, so many managers have failed at that too.
And they're not great managers.
Ancelotti?
Really? But Ancelotti's won the Champions League, of course.
Tuchel is not a great manager.
Who?
Tuchel is not a great manager.
He's won the Champions League.
Oh, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't say, okay, to be a top manager, he needs to win a cup and finish in top 4 when he's done that before.
I'm talking about right now. No.
To be a top manager, he needs to win.
That wasn't the question. You asked me, what does he need to do next year? And that's what I need. That's what I said for next year. That's
okay. So what does he need to be a top manager?
For me,
he's win Champions League.
But he has to go find it. And on top of that, you have to domestically win a cup.
I think that's all it comes down to. I think he just needs to get if he gets a
domestically. You in a big boy league. You're in a big boys league now. You know,
he's gonna get
you in the Premier League now.
I get what you're saying. What you're saying. That's just like the crowning. That's like, okay, you are in this league now. If you get a Premier League or a Champions League, it makes sense. I can't.
No, he's not saying that. He's saying he has to go far in the Champions League. And
he's already done that this year. I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I don't get. He's saying he has to go far. He's not saying he has to win it. He's saying he has to go far.
Right. I think for me, he's done that. It doesn't have to be the same season.
It's done what? It's
that far with Villa. That's Villa as well. It's
Even Villa, you can say that.
In the Champions League. You know, that's an achievement. That's something we can't. They were really like top of the qualifying group.
He's got Villa in the Champions League. That was his efforts from last year, right?
He got into a quarterfinal this year.
This year,
that's what I mean. Yeah. He got into the quarterfinal this year.
He should have gone that little bit further, but he got to the quarterfinals. he got to the quarterfinals. As soon as he got to a decent team, he got knocked out. So,
you have an agenda, bro.
No, I don't. I'm just saying. This is what I'm saying, and it proves my point. Anytime this guy gets in a situation where there's a little bit of pressure when he needs to go above and beyond,
I don't think you win 13 trophies like that, bro.
He's not achieving it. He's not achieving it. This guy is still in the Champions League. You can win the championship all day of the week. I don't care. If you come to the big boys league and you cannot do anything there, you cannot be. You can be considered a good manager.
Yeah. So is Arteta a top manager?
You're a good manager. Arteta is not a top he's not a top manager. He hasn't won
nothing. Good. At least you're fair in that.
I've never said here that Arteta was a top manager. I've always said that he hasn't won nothing. For him to be considered to eat at that table, he has to start winning something.
So then he's not even Emery level.
Huh?
So he's not even the level of Emery.
No, when I say that Arteta is better than Emery, I think for me, Arteta is a better tactician than Emery. And Arteta has shown that he's taken a team from the gutters and taken that team to where they are today. Okay,
because I was making the same point with Emery. Like, that's the exact same point I was making.
That's exactly what it's been
doing. Emery came into a team that was nowhere in the league, took them, moved them up the table, got into Champions League, got it in that same Champions League, got to the quarterfinals to be beat by like the most incredible team like Europe has ever seen.
So that makes him that makes him a great manager.
Dude, that's like
you can't use adjectives like that to people. Great manager? This guy's not good. He's a good manager. He's done, and I think that is his limit.
Wait.
I don't think it goes beyond that. But this is what I'm saying. I don't think it goes beyond that. I think his best chance to win something was this year against Palace. Is blown that. I think next year he gets sacked. Even
if he wins one cup, bro, he has to win Champions League.
He's getting sacked next year. Watch, he's getting sacked. Watch, he's getting sacked. Hey, time. Just time.
I mean, like, even if he does get sacked, I wouldn't be surprised because football moves quick. We all know that. But come on,
for who?
You probably say yes. You probably say yes, but I mean, I've seen a video earlier, and
of what? Just, would we take Emery?
Yeah, instead of Amorim.
I'll take Emery. I think it will make us solid again, which we need. Yeah, he knows the league. Like, there's no like negative against the guy, except
no. Okay. Listen to me. Let me just summarize before we do it. I will just summarize. Emery will take you and do a good job with you.
Right. You will never win right now.
You will never win. Like, for example, if he goes to United,
no, you can't say that, man. The guy has 18 trophies.
No. If Emery goes to United, you will never. You might win the Europa. You might win. He will probably give you the Europa, but he will never give you the league. He will never give you the Champions League because he's limited and he cannot do it. He can't do it. Wow. The guy's not a great tactician. He put Luke Shaw up front or something.
Bro, I'm telling you.
I don't think the guy can do anything to change your mind.
He can win the Champions League.
He can win the Champions League.
With Villa, you know.
He can do that.
Oh man, I can't. Let's get back to the FA Cup, man. Let's
FA Cup. Yes, that was a little Emery segment. But yeah, that was the FA Cup. He failed.
Yeah. He failed.
He failed. To be fair, I do agree with that. He did fail.
Yeah.
He did fail. So, yeah.
As we were saying, I think with the FA Cup, it's quite a bit at stake. With Palace, they want it. They can really use that, and Pep was trying to salvage his season with at least something. But as we talked about, most of us here roots for Palace. I feel like they deserve it more this season. Like, City don't deserve nothing with the way they're playing. Like you don't even want to watch them. They're not exciting. There's nothing going on with that team.
I don't know, man. If they get to a final, can you say that they don't deserve it? They got to the
final. I mean, like let's say we. I mean, it's a similar situation. Let's say we win Europa League. Like
it's like you last year when you won the FA Cup. Did you deserve?
Yeah, it's like a scam. Like you're scamming it. It's like
it's a scam, but you can still compare who deserves it better. That's why we got told.
Yeah.
You know? So I just preference.
Yeah. Sure. I think everybody wants Crystal Palace. Well, most people want Crystal Palace to win it. And I mean, City can salvage their season. That would definitely, and it would be a great achievement for them, to be fair as well, to have probably their worst season in a long, long time and still win FA Cup and still get in the Champions League. I mean, big teams have had worse seasons than that. And it was considered a success even for some. So yeah, it'll be good for them too. But yeah, I want them to be in the mud. I was hoping they wouldn't get in the Champions League, but it looks like it's gonna happen. No, so they can't win FA Cup too, man. Come on, Crystal Palace, come on, do something for us.
For real.
But yeah, let's talk about when how City got to the final as well by beating Nottingham Forest, and Nottingham Forest is a team where if you score early, you have every chance of beating them, and that's exactly what City did. Just a dagger because, and like you were saying earlier, I think Thierry was saying, what is Elanga, arguably your best attacker, doing on the bench?
What is it doing? I mean, we were talking about Emery dropping the ball, and Nuno has been great all season, and he dropped the ball on this one, man. He dropped the ball. Like, what is Elanga doing? Knowing that this City team, they just cannot handle pace. We've seen it all season. They cannot handle counter-attack. Exactly. They cannot handle pace. And as soon as Elanga comes in, the game changed completely. And, I mean, if he had scored that chance he got as soon as he came in, a few minutes in, that would have been a different result, I think. I think it would have turned the game around completely. It would have been 2-1, yes. Still another goal to score. But, City was struggling a bit at that moment. But I mean, kudos to City. They were able to score early, and they had decent control of the game. Obviously, Nottingham Forest second half put them a lot under pressure. And I think they hit the woodwork 3 times. Very unlucky to not even get one goal out of that. But City did what they had to do, and again they're in another final. I think that was their 7th semi-final in a row. I mean, I want to hate, but you gotta say that's impressive, man. That's impressive. Like you can't say nothing about that. So I think Forest kind of dropped the ball here, though. The Elanga thing was the main one, and they just never recovered.
Yeah,
I mean, Elanga missed that.
Man. Yeah,
that sitter. That's a sitter, man. Like as soon as he came on. First touch. I think he scores that, and City gets nervous there.
Very nervous,
and it's a different game. But missing that was crazy. But that was his first touch, and he wasn't warm. He wasn't hot.
Yeah, it wasn't warm.
Should have been starting the game. As Terry was saying. That's what's been working for you all season, but you decide to change it all of a sudden. It's not like you're playing any midweek anything. Like you should have put your best players in. I didn't get it myself as well. But in the game, honestly, when the game started, I didn't really pay attention to that fact specifically. For me, they were gonna be still able to hold on, right? But yes, we noticed that with.
Like I said, I think the early goal just threw away the whole game plan because they're a team that just stay compact, just hold out, and then just hit you on the break. But that early goal, now you have to come out and play because you have to catch up, and that's the
whole game right there. That's the whole game right there. But man, City. we said it all along up until now. They terrible season and whatnot. They can salvage it with this. Again, this leaves City in a really funny place, right? Because they're still in the top four. With this, that will consolidate their place in the Champions League next season. We talked about Pep and his future and what it is supposed to do with this team right now. So could that revive them a little bit? Do you guys think that that's the little bit of hope they needed to kick off at least, or finish the season strong and then kick off stronger for next season? Is that enough of a boost?
I think for me it's enough, because what would be the argument? This is my worst season since I've been here, and I still got a trophy. You see what I mean? So that's great. That's a great stepping stone for next year to kick on again, to be like, okay, this is a great motivational speech right now for your players. Right. Look, guys, last year was our worst season ever, but we
still got a trophy.
So good that we got a trophy. So this year we just need a little bit more effort, and let's kick on, because we can go back to where we were. So if they do win it, that would be incredible, considering the season that they've had. But on the flip side as well, if they do lose it, what kind of that's going to be a confidence blow too. So they're in a bit of a conundrum there. But I mean, if I'm Pep Guardiola and I win this, considering I've had the worst season since I've been there, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, you have to be. You have to be if you win this. And then the season is a little bit on the knife edge, because yes, Champions League qualification looks likely, but it's not a done deal. There's still 4 games left, and you have this that you, especially playing Crystal Palace, it's like you kind of have to win. There's no really like an excuse. Like if it was another team, a bigger team, maybe if it was Villa, I don't know, or a bigger team than Villa, you can say, okay, we never know. But like if you're playing Crystal Palace, you kind of have to win if you're Man City. So the season is a little bit on the knife edge, but if he seals both of them, which I think is likely, that he seals Champions League and wins this, what can you say to him? Like, my worst season is Champions League and FA Cup. I mean,
that's a dream season for some, man.
That's a dream season for some, man. So
exactly.
You can't say nothing to him, man. But next season is going to be very interesting for them, because I feel like the lineup for this game was like kind of like a forward to next season, what they're gonna look like with Nunez and Rico Lewis and blah blah blah, all these young guys. So we'll see how they are next season. But yeah, they have a big rebuilding job to do. Yeah.
Big job. Well, so how do you see the final playing out before we go?
Quick for me. I mean, I'm going Crystal Palace win.
Is that what you want, or is that what you think?
I think it's gonna be a good game. I think it's gonna be a tight game. It's what I want mainly, and it's what I hope a Crystal Palace win. But yeah, if we have to say what I think City is gonna win it. As much as I would hate to see it, because they're gonna be so smug to say that this is their worst season.
There's nothing we're gonna say about it, man.
Yeah, there's nothing we can say about it.
Nothing. Yeah, man. I will follow along with you. I mean, I want Palace to win. I think it will go to extra time. On a good performance from Palace, but I think they're just gonna run out of it, man. They're gonna run out of gas. I feel like if it goes to penalty, maybe Palace has a chance. I don't know why. I just feel like it, but I think City will be a little too much. There's too much on City's head after, especially what we talked about just now, that I feel like they're really gonna go out on this one and win it.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you guys. But I don't think it's going to be I don't think it goes to extra time or penalties. I think City wins it during the game, and I think it's probably going to be a 2-0 or maybe even a 3-0 in the end. Palace has done great to get to where they did, and again, I'm like you. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope they do win it. But I think City in the final, Guardiola gets there, and he knows it's the only trophy that he can get this year. I think he makes sure that he gets it. So unfortunately, I think City gets it. Yeah. And all right, well, guys, let's wrap it up here. And again, people, let us know in the comments what you think about the FA Cup final. Give us your predictions and everything like that. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.